This Christmas, we have a story of delicious wild fruits to tell. It began with a random walk in late August. I was exploring a new street in the neighborhood when I noticed many small fruits on the ground. Some had already been smashed by passing bikes and pedestrians. I stopped and looked more closely at those ones that are still intact. They looked like small plums with striking colors, and they smelled sweet and fruity. Are these edible? I looked up into the trees where there were many more. I picked one fruit, looking ripe, and decided to research it later. As I continued walking, I counted roughly 20 trees of the same kind along the road. At home, I put the fruit on my desk. It still looked suspicious, and after a while, the skin seemed softer, making it look even more toxic. But Google told me it was a wild plum, quite common in Denmark. Some people even claimed they were delicious. This called for a heist. Henry and I went back there at 5 a.m. the next morning. We brought a basket, a large shopping bag, and gloves. Henry was surprised by both the number of trees and the amount of fruit on them. We felt like greedy pirates discovering hidden treasure. We picked and picked. Soon our containers were full and heavy. At home, we weighed the harvest. Henry had 7 kilos and I had 5, 12 kilos in total. After that, I started walking with my eyes in the trees. Familiar places suddenly felt new, as if I had never really known them. One day, on my usual route near the golf course, I noticed dark red patches on a tree slightly off the trail. I am short-sighted, so I walked closer. They were apples, wild, delicious, and free apples. I picked one from a low branch. It was sweet and crisp. I kept walking and found another apple tree, then another one. A few days later, more. On a sunny day in October, Henry and I discovered a road named after apples, lined with wild apple trees on both sides. We sampled along the way and marked the best ones. This called for a heist, a grand heist. We went to the Apple Road at 5 a.m. the next morning, this time with upgraded equipment. I had made an apple picker by attaching a cut-open plastic bottle to the end of a curtain rod. We brought that and two 50-liter black trash bags. It was pitch dark, and the trees were wet with morning dew. We worked by the light of our phone flashlights. The birds in the trees were annoyed because our tool was very effective at reaching high branches. We worked like we have never worked before. By 5:30 a.m., the bags were full. We carried them on our shoulders, like two bank robbers leaving the scene. As we walked home, we were using a good pace, and soon we saw a person ahead of us. She was a young woman walking alone, perhaps on her way to an early morning shift. She saw us. In the darkness, we were just two silhouettes. Gender, age, and ethnicity indistinguishable. Carrying a long rod with two very large black bags, moving quickly. Who are they? Are they coming for me? They're getting close. And those two large trash bags. Did they just kill someone? Oh no. She stopped under the street lamp, her hand reaching into her purse, perhaps for pepper spray or some more violent weapon, I don't know. Then we walked straight past her without even glancing at her. We didn't bother to think about her anymore. Who cares about the stories that she would tell to her friends that day or during Christmas? All we cared about was the apples. In total, we've got 23 kilos of apples. We declared our grand heist a great success. Then we made an apple cake, some apple juice, and an apple cake, and an apple cake. We truly enjoyed the delicious wild fruits in Denmark, and it was a great year. The moral of the story? Large bags do not imply criminal contents. Sometimes they are just full of apples. Sometimes they belong to Santa Claus. Color helps. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. So, what did we do with 12 kilos of plums and 23 kilos of apples? I took the plums as carry-on luggage to Finland when we visited Henry's parents. His mother turned them into jam, juice, and sauce. For the apples, we ate some of them, baked 3 apple cakes, and made apple juice for ginger shots. We couldn't finish them all. In the end, many spoiled. We threw them into the biotrash, hoping they would turn into compost for more delicious apples next year.